leadership? Well, in this video, you are going to learn a lot of great information that will help you to start mastering this skill that you absolutely need to have as a woman in leadership. We're going to talk about why is thinking on your feet so hard? What makes it so challenging? Plus, I'm going to give you some strategies that will help you to start learning how to think on your feet and respond in a very concise way as soon as possible. If this sounds like something you are interested in learning more about, then feel free to watch this video until the end, because you're going to learn over 20 years worth of strategies that will help you be able to start thinking on your feet. Now, I have been in different roles as a director, as a manager, as a C-suite executive, a public speaker, and an executive coach that will fast track you in your career. So if this sounds good to you, feel free to watch the entire video. Now, on this channel, I focus on very advanced level communication skills. Therefore, if you clicked on this video, I know you're meant to be here. You are the person that is trying to elevate how you communicate and how you function as an executive. Now, my target audience in terms of who I provide direct executive coaching services to are women in leadership. However, on YouTube and on other platforms I have accounts on, such as LinkedIn and Instagram and Facebook, there are people that are not a part of my audience. Maybe you are a woman that is not in a leadership role, or perhaps you're a man in leadership. The information I'm going to share with you will absolutely help you. The information I share about leadership truly does transcend gender, and you're going to learn a lot of information that's going to help you be able to learn how to think on your feet today. Now, if you're watching this portion of the video, you are watching the live, and welcome. I'm glad you're here. You're probably watching a replay at this point. And there's typically a time in the lives where people join, so give me just a few moments to say hello to them. And then we're going to go into thinking on your feet as a woman in leadership. So let's talk about thinking on your feet. Thinking on your feet, people call it different things. Sometimes people will refer thinking on your feet as being quick-witted, meaning you can respond pretty quickly. Sometimes people equivocate thinking on your feet to being concise in terms of how you are communicating. There's many ways. So I want to know in the comments below, how do you feel about the way you're thinking on your feet? Let me know in the comments below. And if you are struggling with thinking on your feet, then feel free to reach out to me if you're a woman in leadership for an executive strategy session that we have listed in the description below. Feel free to sign up a time for us to have a quick talk about where you are and where you want to be. If you have struggled with thinking on your feet, then put that in the comments below too, because we can talk about some strategies that will help you to not feel so frustrated when this happens, because this is a skill that you will absolutely want to learn how to master as a leader. This is critically important. When we talk about developing your executive presence and showcasing your executive presence, there's a lot into it. There are so many definitions out there that talk about executive presence that are very confusing, very much academic, and it makes it very difficult to put it in a real world scenario. So that is what I do on my channel. I'm going to share with you my 20 years of experience, but I talk more about real strategies, real techniques that actually happen here in the real world of leadership. And so that is what you're going to get in this channel. So let's talk about, why is it so hard to think on your feet? So for those of you who have joined, welcome. Glad you're here today. And I appreciate you being here. And feel free to let me know what part of the big, beautiful world you are joining from today. Why is thinking on your feet so hard? Why is it so difficult? The reason why it's difficult is because we are not taught how to do this. This is one of the reasons why hopefully you are subscribed to my channel, so you can learn more about these advanced level communication skills that will help you to stand out from everybody else as a leader. So for everybody that's joined, welcome. Glad you're here today. Let me know what part of the big, beautiful world you're joining from today. And let me know, have you ever struggled with thinking on your feet? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know if you've ever struggled with it, or if you're very good at it. Let me know that also. Excuse me. As I mentioned, many people struggle with thinking on their feet because they are not taught how to do so. So you're going to learn some strategies here in this video. Why is this such an issue? Because one, we're not taught how to do it. Two, we're not exactly sure of what to say and how to say it. And so we're going to go into some strategies today to help you. Specifically for women that are leaders, what happens oftentimes is that we are in roles that are predominantly occupied by men. And we are in, I would say, sometimes uncharted territory, because we may be the first woman in a role. We may be one of few women in a role. And we're not really quite sure, well, how do I need to respond? What do I need to say? And how do I need to say it? And etc. So that's another variable that adds on to why sometimes we struggle with thinking on our feet. Now, I want to say hello to Jabu Manghula. If I said that wrong, friend, I'm so sorry. -M6E. Welcome, friend. How you doing today? Let me know what part of the big, beautiful world you are in today. And I'm sorry, I know I did not say that correctly, and I'm driving, so I apologize. But I appreciate you being here, friend. Let me know where you're joining from today. If you've ever struggled with thinking on your feet, let me know. So we talked about why is it hard. We're not taught this, for those of you who just joined. We're not taught how to think on our feet. We don't really know what to say or how to say it. Specifically, if you are a woman, you may be in uncharted territory. You may be the first woman. You may be one of few, and etc. Now, I do want to say, what are some strategies we can do to help you to start thinking on your feet? Are you ready? The very first strategy, and I know this is going to sound maybe counterintuitive than what you may have heard on YouTube, but I'm sharing with you real strategies, real techniques that actually will help you to think on your feet, not theory, not hypotheses, as you see on many other YouTube channels, or you may see it on LinkedIn. There's a lot of academics going on there, and there's nothing wrong with that. But when it comes to these real scenarios, you need real strategies that actually exist. So, to start us off, if you're trying to think on your feet, the first thing you need to do is focus. Why do I say focus? Because oftentimes as leaders, people will catch us in the middle of something majority of the time, because we're always busy, we're always doing other things. And let me know if you've ever had this happen to you. Someone wants to speak to you and you're in the middle of typing an email, or they want to speak to you and you are in the middle of a phone call, or they want to speak to you and you are in the middle of compiling a huge report. Has it happened to you? It's happened to me. It's happened to me many times. Excuse me. And this is why it is sometimes hard as a leader, because we have people that want to speak to us, but our minds are in different places. And the first way for you to start thinking on your feet is you have to really focus on what's being said. If you are in the middle of typing an email, or if you are in the middle of compiling a project, or if you are in the middle of doing something and someone asks you a question, tell them, give me just a few moments, however many minutes you need, so that you can intently focus on what is being said. Now, this is in a one-on-one setting. If you are in a meeting setting, you want to make sure that you are coming to the meeting with a clear mind. You still have to have that level of focus, but I'm sharing with you two scenarios that likely will happen. You will either have to think on your feet one-on-one, speaking to someone, or you have to think on your feet in a group. So I'm preparing you for both. One-on-one, if you're in the middle of doing a task, make sure you are focused on what's being said and you're in the right mind space to receive the information you're about to gather. You have to be clear. If you're going to a meeting, if you had some personal crisis that happened, or if you had, and I appreciate the heart emojis, friends, or if you had some personal crisis or some major fire you just put out, sometimes you just need a few minutes to decompress. Your mind needs some time to just switch gears, so to speak, and be able to focus on what's being said in a meeting so that you can think on your feet. So the very first step that you want to do is you want to place yourself in a situation mentally where you can focus clearly on what is being said. Now, I have a video on my YouTube channel that it's one of my lives. It's earlier this year that has a lot of reviews on it. I talk about thinking on your feet there as well, so feel free to check that out. Has some great information on it. But in this video, we're going to do a bit of a different take on thinking on your feet, because I could talk about this topic all day, literally. Now, thank you for those of you who are here today and that are joined. Feel free to let me know what part of the big, beautiful world you are in today, and let me know if you've ever struggled with thinking on your feet. Or if you don't struggle with it, what are some strategies that you use to help you think on your feet so that we all can learn? Now, the second strategy I want to share with you is that when you are trying to think on your feet, this is going to sound very interesting, and thank you for the heart emojis. You need to listen on your feet. We have to start there. We have to start there second. First, our mind is clear. Where our mind is clear, we know exactly what it is. that we are able to be fully present in the moment in terms of listening what is said. Now we go into listening. You have to listen on your feet. You may think, well, what does that have to do with me thinking on my feet? In order for you to be able to respond in a very concise way as a woman in leadership, or perhaps if you are a man in leadership watching this also, you have to be able to think about what is being said and listen to what is being said. You cannot think on your feet if you are not listening on your feet. You have to listen on your feet first. You have to listen. If you don't listen to what's being said, then how can you provide a response that is concise, that addresses what's going on in your one-on-one conversation or in your meeting? Therefore, you want to be able to listen on your feet. You have to listen. And I don't mean passively listen. You have to actively listen to what is being said. Now, I will give you a bonus to this. I will not go into a ton of detail on this at the moment because I have a lot of videos on my live tab here on YouTube that talk about body language, listening, and etc. But you don't want to necessarily only listen with your ears. You also want to listen with your eyes as well. How do you do that? You do this by being very observant. When you are in those conversations, whether you are in a one-on-one conversation or perhaps you are in a meeting, make sure that you are listening not only with your ears, listen with your ears, but you want to be very observant in terms of what's going on. This is critically important in either a one-on-one setting or in a group setting. I would even emphasize, if you are in a group setting, it's probably even more so important because you want to make sure you are not only observing the person that's speaking, but you want to observe the room and see exactly what is everybody else thinking about this topic. Now, you may say, well, what if no one's saying anything? Communication is not all about speaking. It's not all about speaking. Observing is a huge part of communication also. If you can learn how to start mastering these skills that I'm sharing with you, you will automatically stand out from everybody else, and you will be the person that people reach out to for various leadership opportunities because you are that person that is just exceptional. And you already are exceptional by watching this video, because if you clicked on this title, you are not the average leader. You're not the average leader. Average leaders will be the individuals that have been promoted for roles, they go into their positions, and they work, they learn, and that's it. The fact that you're even clicking on a title that talks about thinking on your feet tells me you are exceptional, because you are trying to elevate and advance your skill set to a level that other people around you do not have. This is how you stand out as a leader. You want to be able to master how you communicate. Now, before I go into this into a bit more detail, I want to say hello to Curtis Sizemore -B5I. Welcome, friend. How you doing today? Let me know what part of the big, beautiful world you are joining from today. And let me know if you've ever struggled with thinking on your feet, or you feel pretty good about it and you have some strategies that you want to share with the audience this morning. I appreciate you stopping by. Now, we talked about two strategies so far. First strategy to thinking on your feet is you have to mentally be clear. So make sure you're present, you're focused. If you want me to go into more detail, let me know. But we talked about this in the live, so you want to go back and watch the live video. The second strategy is, in order to think on your feet, you have to listen on your feet. Listening is critically important. You have to listen to what is being said. And I gave you a bonus, not only listening with your ears to what is being said, but you want to be very observant also in terms of what's being said, excuse me, to you in a one-on-one setting, or what's being said to you in the room. You want to observe everybody that's in the room in terms of how they're responding to the information that is being said to them. Now, we got a couple things in mind. We got our mindset is right. Check. Mindset's right. We're present. Anything that's going on that's distracting us, we have to let it go in order for us to think on our feet. And then number two, we have to listen. We have to listen to what is being said and what is not being said. This is how you do this, by observing. That's what will show you what's not being said that people want to say. I go into a lot more detail on that on my channel, so definitely check out my videos about body language and nonverbal communication skills and etc. The third strategy to thinking on your feet is very, very important. You want to be that person that is very well versed in your specific discipline. Maybe you have your own business. Maybe you have your organization that you're playing a very senior leader type role in, or you're a manager or director, you have to be very well versed in your discipline. Why is that important? Because when you have to think on your feet, there's a process of thinking, right? But then at some point you have to speak. You're going to have to say something if you want to think on your feet. You are not going to be able to think on your feet and respond in a concise way if you don't have a very good knowledge base of what you're talking about. Let me know in the comments below. Is this something that you have struggled with? If you've done very well with this, let me know so we can make sure we are sharing it with everybody else that's watching this video so that they can elevate how they're communicating as well. Having a good knowledge base will allow you to respond in a very concise way when it comes to thinking on your feet. Some strategies that I tell my clients in a one-on-one setting is to learn some statistics about your specific industry. Take a look at a couple of journals, maybe some news articles from reputable media outlets that you have confirmed that feel accurate, because sometimes in the media things are not portrayed as they are supposed to be. So you definitely want to look up some statistics about your discipline. Maybe there's a percentage of collections that's the standard. Maybe there's a percentage of outcomes or results that's the standard in your role. It just really depends. But you want to be well versed in your specific discipline, because this will help you to have some talking points, as we say in public speaking, or if you're on the media, that you can talk about when you are communicating with other individuals. This is something that will help you to start thinking on your feet. You have to be able to respond to those type of situations when they come up. So we talked about your talking points, and we have that. You have to be very well versed in your field. Take some time to just be that extra exceptional person that knows a lot more than other people about your field. And the only way you do that is by finding time to learn about your field. Learn about your field. Be that person that knows as much as possible. Do you have to know every single thing about your field? Absolutely not. But you do want to learn a bit more information than other people. Now, before I go into the final strategy, let me say hello to Hasnain556-D7I. Welcome, friend. Thank you for the heart emoji. Hope you're doing well today. Let me know what part of the Big Beautiful World you are joining from today, and if you've ever struggled with thinking on your feet, or if this is something you're very good at and you have some strategies to share with us. I am doing well. So Hasnain556-D7I says, how are you? I'm doing fantastically well. Every day when I'm able to be live with my audience here and share some skills that they may not know or may not have learned about on their leadership journey, I am doing amazingly well and very blessed. So we've talked about a couple strategies already, and let me know how you're doing today, Hasnain. We've talked about some strategies. We've talked about 3 so far. For those of you who are just joining, welcome. We talked about a lot of strategies so far. So you absolutely want to take a look at this replay video. This is a good video for you to definitely talk about and learn about, because thinking on your feet is something that truly does set leaders apart. And if you want to be that leader that stands out from everybody else, one, you should subscribe to the channel, because you're going to learn those skills for sure. And then number 2, you absolutely want to check out the Think on Your Feet video. This is something that sets people apart. Many people struggle with this. You'll see it in leadership roles. You'll see it in perhaps political debates. You'll see it everywhere. If you can learn how to think on your feet, this is really important. So Kurt Sizemore-B5I says, when will you do this again? I have to go. Okay, no problem. Kurt, appreciate you being here and stopping by today, friend. Feel free to subscribe to the channel. This will be a great opportunity for you to learn. I go live Tuesday through Friday in the mornings around this time, and I go live in the evening also. I have a lot of information here on my live tab. Would really appreciate you being a part of our community here. I have a lot of information here on communication. So if you're trying to be at that next level in terms of how you communicate and you're a man in leadership, you're welcome to be here. I'm really glad you're here. I have a lot of men in leadership here on the channel, in addition to women in leadership also. So feel free to just join me here when I'm live. Subscribe to the channel so you get those notifications, or hit the notifications so you know when I'm live. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Kurt, welcome. Hope you subscribe to the channel. So the fourth strategy I want to share with you also is that we've talked about thinking on your feet. We've got through the process in terms of how you want to think on your feet. If you're just watching, definitely take a look at the video, the replay of the video. But my fourth strategy is very important also. And I appreciate you all hanging with me till the end. Now, the fourth strategy is we've got your knowledge base. Now we need to know how you need to communicate this information. Being concise is important. So what I would recommend for you to do, and as I mentioned, think on your feet is a strategy I could talk about all day. There are so many aspects of thinking on your feet that you definitely want to listen to. Remember, I have a video that talks about thinking on your feet on my live tab. Also, it's an earlier this year video that that you'll end up having to review. But this is something that's really important. How to speak in a concise way is critically important for you. And learning how to speak concisely comes down to one strategy. Limit what you're trying to say. Many times when people are speaking as leaders, and let's say you've went through all these strategies, these steps I shared with you to think on your feet, and then you come to the final one where you actually have to speak on your feet. If you just talk about everything that's on your mind, it will come across as you rambling. And when you ramble, it makes it very difficult for people to understand what you're saying and take you as somebody that can truly manage this situation, whatever the issue is. So be very concise. How can you be concise? Narrow your talking points down to the most important thing you want to say. Now, I know when you are a bit more advanced as a communicator, you may have 2 things you need to say, or maybe 3. There's ways you can fit all 3 of them in. But if you are just beginning to really master thinking on your feet, narrow it down to the one thing you need to say. What's the most important topic, statement that you need to make regarding this conversation? Whether you are in a one-on-one setting or perhaps you are in a group, narrow it down to the most important. I know you got a lot to say. You have a lot to say as a leader, but narrow it down to just the one topic you need to say, the one statement you need to make for this topic. That will help you to come across being concise. Now, when you become more advanced, and let's say you work with me in a one-on-one setting as me being your executive coach, then I will help you to be able to fit more topics in so that you sound very, very concise. Just reach out to me for a strategy session in the description below. If you're a woman in leadership, I'll help you with that. But as you elevate and as you practice doing this more, you'll be able to be in a place where you can speak concisely about multiple topics. It doesn't have to be narrowed down to one, but this takes practice. This is a lot of training. So I appreciate you all being here today. We talked about some really great strategies that will help you to really start thinking on your feet. Let me know if you have struggled with thinking on your feet in the comments below, or if this is something that you want to learn more about. If you want me to go into more detail, let me know. We may talk a bit more about this evening when I go live in terms of thinking on your feet. But I've shared with you some really great strategies that will help you, that you can actually start doing today if you start planning out how to think on your feet. Because my role here is to help you. And I truly believe that people become great by how they communicate. And my mission here on this earth is to unlock the greatness within you. And the way I do that is by helping you to learn these advanced level communication skills that you will likely not see all the time or hear about them often. I've been in some very interesting situations. I've been in some friendly and some very contentious situations. I've been on the news. I have had the opportunity to interact with different congressional leaders on the national level and on the state level here in the Sunshine State of Florida. And I'm sharing with you what I know, everything I know that will help you communicate at a higher level. I can only share with you but so much. If you want to go into a lot more detail and get a more customized plan for you, then that's what you reach out to me for a strategy session in the description below. If you're a woman in leadership, if you're not in the target audience, no problem. Reach out to me for contents and I will do a video just for you to talk about the topic that you want to learn more about as it relates to communicating. So I hope you all have a great day, and we have something that came through on the chat. Jude Jameson, welcome friend. Hope you're doing well today. I'm just about to wrap up the chat, our live today. Jude Jameson says, and thank you for the heart emojis, friends. I'm about to go to school. Well, Jude Jameson, I hope you have a fantastic day at school. I appreciate you all for joining today. Let me know if you have any questions as it relates to thinking on your feet, or maybe you have a specific issue or a situation that happened to you when you struggle with it, and we'll talk about it live later this afternoon. Let me know. I'm here to support you on your journey. I hope you all have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.